What's up YouTube, Ben Born here and welcome to another YouTube video. This time around it's a bit different. In this video I decided to share a number of my old photos which I took them about 7-8 years ago for you guys to see what I was doing then and like the improvements and if there are any differences, you know, with the type of pictures I take now and the photos I took then. Anyway, so the gear I started with was the Canon T3i. That was my first DSLR, and that's what I used to take all of these photos. Most of the portraits I took back then was taken with a 50mm 1.4. I had that lens, and then I think later I got the 24-105 kit lens. So those were my two main lenses I used for my shoot, and from time to time I would borrow other lenses from friends. So let's get into the photos. So this first photo is a photo of a beautiful model, Celti. She was one of my favorite models back then. We used to do a lot of shoots. As I said, this photo was this photo was taken with the Canon EOS Rebel T3i, and you can see the settings, ISO 100, shutter speed 1/200 of a second, and aperture f9. These were the times that I was shooting, like most of my portraits that I did indoor, like I would usually shoot around these kind of apertures, like from f9, f10, f11. And back then the light that I used was the Jimbe FL 500. This was my first strobe, like my first battery pack strobe, and I really loved it because it gave me so much power, like on location, like because of most of the times I was shooting at a closed-up aperture, f9, f11, like on location. Having that strobe was really useful because it gave me extra power, like in all situations. So I really loved it, and it didn't do high-speed sync. It was just a normal strobe. The limit was 1/200 of a second. And also when it comes to modifiers, I started with using umbrellas, but as time went on I discovered beauty dish, and so around this era most of my shots were also taken with a beauty dish. And if you zoom into the model's eye, you can see the beauty dish with the diffuser sock in her eye. And so I shot mostly with the beauty dish. I loved the quality of light it gave me. Basically, this photo is a 2-light setup. That is the main light in the beauty dish hitting her on camera right, and then the rim light, which was a speed light, a Yongnuo speed light with a blue gel. These photos were heavily inspired by Bob Pixel. I drew so much inspiration from Bob Pixel's photos to take these kind of photos. But this particular photo was actually inspired by a painting. I was trying to recreate what I saw in the painting. So when we come to this photo, it's the same Canon T3i with Canon 50mm 1.4 and the same Jimbe FL 500 strobe light in a beauty dish. As you can see in her eye, the beauty dish is boomed above her, and then there's a silver reflector below to reflect the light back into her face. I used to do this type of lighting for a very long time, especially as I was using the beauty dish. Now this photo is one of my favorite shots back then. It was a series of photos that I did, and I really loved it. So same Canon T3i with the Canon 50mm 1.4, shot at f10 1/125 and then ISO 100. So the beauty dish is hitting her on camera left, and then the Yongnuo speed light bare is hitting her on camera right, which is behind her. So this next photo is also one of my favorite photos, which was also heavily inspired by Bob Pixel. he had a way of doing this type of lighting where you have the main light and then a reflector and also another light behind the model, creating a spot on the background, which was really amazing. Like, it was literally drawing with light, and I love the kind of mood this kind of lighting always gave. So you can see in the model's eye the beauty dish with a diffuser sock on it, on camera right, hitting her face, and then the reflector below hitting her on camera right. And then you have this sort of spot which I used the Yongnuo 560 behind the model and then directed to the background, just to have that a little pop on the wall to give that separation. So this is also a series of shots I did for this boxer. It's an amazing boxer, and I got a chance to photograph him in a gym that he used to train. And so with this type of lighting, I think this is also like during the time that I was taking a lot of inspiration from Bob Pixel, because he also used to work with gels, and I also got gels and decided to just play with it and see what I could come up with. But basically it was a 3-point lighting where the main light was the Jinbei FL500 in a beauty dish boomed above him with a silver reflector below. So if you look closely, you can see that the beauty dish above and then the reflector is below. And then if you look at his face too, you can see red gel here and blue gel. These were all your Yongnuo speed lights, which I attached gels to it. The other thing was that this photo was taken with a Tokina 11-16 mm. Was a lens that I borrowed from my friend. It was super wide, even on a crop sensor. It was really, really wide, and I loved the sort of distortion it gave, like when you're using it for this kind of portrait. And so it was just perfect, and I was really amazed back then. Like, I was really amazed with the kind of results I got. And this one is also basically the same thing. Like, you can see in his eye the beauty dish above and then the silver reflector below, and then the edge lights, red and blue edge lights from speed lights. You know, back then I was really using the beauty dish for like most of my work, but as time went on, I realized that I didn't like the sort of harshness the beauty dish was giving me. So I jumped into softbox and like octabox with W diffusion, which gave like really soft lights. But I mean, I miss those days, and hopefully I think do a throwback shoot and see if I can achieve some of these results again. This is also to show you that like it's been a long time coming. These photos were taken in 2013, and I mean, if you ask me if like I would do anything differently from these photos in terms of like the lighting, if I would do the lighting differently, or if there's something that I would do differently about these photos, I actually there's not much I would change in these photos. And that's one thing that like I actually want you guys to understand, that lighting it never goes out of style. Like, good lighting never goes out of style. When the lighting is good, it doesn't matter the number of years, it will still be good. Because like these photos were taken in 2013, and you can literally, if I told you that I took these photos today, you would believe it, right? Because it still look like these were photos that I took today. And it's all because of lighting, because I aim at getting my lighting right, and then everything falls in place. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. As time goes on, I'll be doing more of these videos for you guys to know the kind of photos I was taking back then, and like the journey so far and all of that. So see you guys in the next video.